Yeah, so welcome in one and all. This is Full 10 Yards at Betting Podcast here with you. Looking ahead to week 14. Let's take my glasses off, otherwise you'll just see screen eyes all so we'll get rid of those. I usually try and get rid of them because I try and remember before we hit the live, but there we go. Never mind. Welcome in Adam. As you can see, no Liam with us this week. So as Adam would like to point out in the group chat, obviously with the Bengals winning, you two can't be on the same podcast, and you guys have had a Barney again.
It seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah. Obviously, the Bengals have now shown a spark of life, and Liam's decided that's enough. He can't be on the same podcast as me this week. So yeah, yeah, it was obviously a game I didn't stay up with because I thought it was going to be a terrible game for the Bengals, and then it turned out to be one of the best rookie performances ever. So not rookie, sorry, he's not a rookie. One of the best backup performances ever. So yeah, has given a little bit of hope for the rest of the season for me, and looking forward to this weekend a bit more now.
Yeah, I don't know if it also that culminated with Kansas City loss on Sunday Night Football as well. Maybe, yeah, armchair fan, absolute armchair fan. Yeah, Monday Night Football was a bit of a surprise. No more than a surprise than me waking up on Tuesday realizing that I got the win in our main fantasy league. So that was fun. But yeah, that's fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. Well, yeah, exactly. Mr. Joe Mixon. Oh, Mixie, you are so fine. But anyway, on to week 14, and obviously some teams, obviously the last bye week as well, so a slightly reduced slate. I think you've got Commanders, Cardinals, and some other guys on bye. But yeah, and for some reason we have was it just those two? Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, no one really cares about that, to be quite honest. But yeah, for some reason we have a double Monday night header, so we'll obviously get to that as well. I don't know if there's a certain reason why we've got a double header on Monday night. Adam, do you know? No.
I have no idea. I don't
just
think
for the lulls. Just for the lulls. But talking of
crap as well.
Yeah, well, talking of lulls, Thursday Night Football is going to be a banger, isn't it? The New England Patriots travel to the Pittsburgh Steelers over under. Yes, that isn't me screwing up the image. It is actually correct. 29.5, ladies and gentlemen, is your over under. The lowest over under since 1993. I think I saw in a tweet earlier in the week, and there's a few on Sunday as well that rival that 29.5. And yeah, I think it just encapsulates how much of a absolute shit show the quarterback situation has been this season. But yeah, sorry, I didn't go through all of it, did I? Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers 5.5 point favorites, 4-11 on the money line, 9-4 if you are a Patriots backer. Yeah, obviously Mitch Trubisky at quarterback for the Steelers. I can't remember who. I don't know if Mac Jones has been reinstalled as starter for the Patriots. Yeah, but 5.5 point underdogs for them. Over under there is a whopping 29.5. Where do we start? I just it's just going to be crap, isn't it?
Yeah. It's obviously the Patriots are the one of the best stats in recent years, keeping teams to 10 or fewer points in the last 3 games and losing all of them is just outstanding. It is hilarious, and obviously me and Liam both had Chargers minus 5.5 last week as our spread bet for the weekend, and that came in because they scored 6 points, which is
it has to be. I don't know if you know, but it has to be the first time that someone's covered a spread. But yeah, after I saw a podcast earlier in the week, and they apparently it was like 6.5 at some point in America, because they were saying it must be the first time that someone's had a shutout and still covered the spread or something. So it was certainly around the 6.5 to 5.5 area, but depending on obviously when you got on and which side you went. But yeah,
you can't imagine anyone scored fewer and still covered. Like it just can't have happened before. So yeah, it just shows how inept the Patriots have been this year on offense, which we have said many times through the season, to be honest. Obviously their defense has shown up in recent weeks, but yeah, with Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, whoever's back there, they're not moving the ball, and without Ramondre Stevenson, it's going to be even harder for them to do that. Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas is out as well, and he had been picking up in recent weeks. So probably more for Devontae Parker. He got a couple of deep shots last week.
Oh, you know what this is, don't you? Juju revenge game.
Oh, Juju revenge game. Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's
Juju,
not many other players left.
Get on the overs. Get on the over receptions. Get on the maybe not the yardage. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go that.
I was going to say. I mean, none of them are going to be very high, are they? So
no.
Over. What are we on?
Man, have I only just realised that?
Anything there. Yeah, I don't think anyone's picked that either. Strangely enough, with the utter, as I say,
I
the
mean, I
utter
don't even know.
ineptness of
Do
the
people
Patriots offense.
do bookies even price up Juju these days? Let's have a look.
16.5 receiving yards.
16
That's
and a half. Get
should
on the
be.
overs.
It's one catch. Over 1.5 receptions is his line
Oh,
on Bet
gotta be
365.
gotta be done. Gotta be done. Overs.
It's
Overs.
so bad. But yeah, obviously, if you are looking at anything, it's probably going to be defenses. Steelers defense to score is 17th, 15-2, I think it was. 15-2 on Paddy Power. And Patriots defense is 11-1 over there. Obviously facing Mitchell Trubisky, there's a chance he could throw it all around the place. Although I was saying before we came on air, the Steelers know they only need 15 points to win this game, so they may well keep it super safe with Trubisky and make sure he doesn't give the ball away, because that seems to be the only way they're not going to win this one. Najee Harris is going to play after coming through an injury scare. Jalen Warren's been quite good anyway, but the new play calling seems to be more Najee, which is a bit annoying because I think Warren is the more exciting of the two. I've just had a quick look back over Trubisky's games this year and the previous year, and Deontay Johnson seems to be leading on receptions and yards in every single game I've seen. So over 3.5 receptions. Admittedly, it's 4-7. Not exactly a good price for it, but he's have 6+ from what I can see. Again, it's with a previous play caller, so that might not be the same thing. But I've gone the other side. Not the other side. I've gone over the middle with Pat Fryermuth. His line's 27.5 yards. And obviously he had a big game against the Bengals. He came back down to earth a bit last week, but sitting in the middle, 27.5, I think is a fairly decent line for him to probably do that in 3 catches. Yeah, the rest of this game, I don't want anything to do with.
No, we're not going to spend overly. The more seconds that we waste on this game, the
Mm.
more I die inside. But yeah, me and Liam have actually gone over 29 and a half. I just something to me says that there's going to be some points in this one. I don't. The Patriots could sure. Well, I guess they can be shut out 2 games in a row because things are that bad. And I don't know how much Bill Belichick is already looking forward to the 2024 draft and wishing it was here, but never mind. Yeah, and I just think the Patriots will score a rushing touchdown with Zeke. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitch Trubisky. I know you said that it will keep it casual because they need to score 15, but I think he'll air it out a little bit. And they've got the weapons. Yeah, they've got some decent wide receivers. Najee and Warren's a decent enough 1-2 punch. They're at home. It's going to be a shit show. I'm not advocating any bets on it whatsoever. But yeah, for the purpose of this podcast, I had to choose something. So over 20 over 29 and a half. It's just too low. It's not a weather game, and it's the total starts with a 2. So just give me the over. I can't. Wouldn't surprise me if it's another 6. It's a 6-0 game now. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, no one's really going to watch it. I don't even think Patriots fans are going to watch it, to be quite honest either. So, and certainly in this country, I don't think anyone's going to watch it anyway. So, we can just move on. Sunday Night Football should be a little bit better. You would hope. The Dallas Cowboys that host the Philadelphia Eagles, big NFC East game. This one. Not necessarily in terms, well, I guess more so in terms of division, but I guess also there's number 1 seed ramifications in there. Obviously, San Francisco will have a lot to say about that. Anyway, bit shocked at this line. Cowboys at 3.5 point favorites, 9-4 on the money line, 4-11. That's the wrong way around. See, I do screw up visuals. I do screw up visuals, but the over under is correct. So that's 51.5. Yeah, I forgot to change that, but anyway, but yeah, this one should be a bit more fun.
Yeah, my first look on this one was the under, and then I thought, no, that's stupid. Like both these teams can put up a lot of points when they need to, and obviously they know each other. The Eagles are coming off a big loss last week. They're going to be humbled by that. They might have Dallas Goedert back. I know he was back training. I've not seen an update on him playing. But to be honest, I think the other side of the ball's more worth talking about more. Obviously, the Cowboys have been dominant at home for a season and a half, 2 seasons now. They do struggle against the Eagles, but they have been incredibly good at home, and that's the reason why it's 3.5 points, I think. And obviously, the Jalen Hurts been banged up. He has been for the season. They're not really clicking on offense. They can't get a run game going. So I get why it's 3.5 points for the Cowboys, and that is probably the way I would lean if I was taking something on the spread. I do think that is the correct side of it, to be honest. But yeah, it should be an exciting game. Obviously, the Cowboys have been have been very, very good. They might have Mr. McCarthy though. He's having appendix surgery this week, so he
He's
was hoping
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
there.
So I saw that. Now the update is that he's fine. He'll be there Sunday. So
Well, fair enough.
yeah.
Well, you don't need your appendix anyway,
Got
do you?
the
So
got you. Well, no, but we've already got our excuse in, so there we go.
yeah.
Yeah. See, Philadelphia. I think it was the start of the month. It was only just a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, these two teams played. The total points ended up being 51. So I don't know if that's the bookies just saying, oh,
Mm.
just do it the same as 51 and a half. It's what happened last time, so kind of just go with there. But I felt like Dallas were actually unlucky to lose that game. It kind of all Philadelphia fell apart on that last drive, didn't they? And then Dallas decided to fall apart. So doing a playoff San Francisco game impression, maybe just a couple of months early, but never mind. I think the Cowboys probably right to be favourites. I just think I can't do 3.5. Just my morals of 3.5. I mean, if you want to do 3, fair enough, and because it could easily quite be a field goal game, but I'm not doing 3.5. So if you're going to give me the hook on the 3.5, give me the Philadelphia Eagles. To be quite honest, Liam's gone money line 6-4, and you've gone for probably one of the most. I'm not going to say locked
Yeah.
in touchdowns, but why wouldn't you at that price?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts 5 to 6, anywhere near even for the brotherly shove to get in. Obviously, you give them 2 yards, or if they get 2 downs to get 2 yards near the goal line, then Jalen Hurts is getting in. So yeah, it was fairly it was a fairly easy one once I couldn't make my mind up on the spread or the total. So yeah, it was inevitable.
Yeah, but yeah, it should be a fun game. Like I say, we'll have huge ramifications, especially if the Cowboys win. We'll put the cat amongst the pigeons,
Mm,
the Cowboys amongst the Eagles. I guess is maybe the NFC East equivalent of
awesome.
that. But yeah, it should be a fun one. I will be probably staying up for that one. I've got work early in the morning, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. Moving on to the aforementioned doubleheader on Monday Night Football, we've got Tennessee at Miami and Green Bay at New York Giants. Both of these are on at the same time. Again, God knows why. Usually they even do maybe an hour or 2 hours kind of
Mm.
difference in terms of kickoff. But nevertheless, we have the Dolphins at 13.5 point favourites. Over under in that game is 46.5. And then Green Bay at the New York Giants, whose over under is 35.5. The Giants are 6.5 point underdogs at home. Your thoughts on either of those games? Again, Tennessee and Miami is not necessarily going to be really a fun one. I think Tyreek Hill and Tua will be licking their chops, but I think also Green Bay. I think Jordan Love and the Packers. I know they're probably without Christian Watson with a hamstring injury, but they'll probably be licking their lips after their defeat of the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, to beat the Lions and then the Chiefs consecutively, obviously it's pretty impressive. And then to get an extra day rest again this week, coming into this weekend with this crazy game, it does seem it's pretty good for the Packers. Obviously, they seem to have clicked recently. Things are looking good for them on the offense with Love finding pretty much all his receivers. So yeah, the loss of Watson is going to hurt them, but he has been spreading the ball around and could mean a little bit more for the likes of Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, the kind of lesser ones. Probably is it Tucker Craft? I think it is the tight end. He obviously scored when on Thanksgiving, so we know they'll find the ball, they'll get the ball to him. But yeah, my bet for the whole slate on this one is Tommy DeVito over 173 passing yards. Um, just why not? He's been playing all right. He's had the bye week now to get a little bit more comfortable, and it's a very low line for any kind of quarterback in the league other than Steelers and Patriots quarterbacks, of course. He had what did he have in his last game? He's had 191 and 246 over the last 2 games against the Patriots, and obviously we've been saying how good the Patriots defense has been. He had 191 against them. The Packers defense has been getting better, but I just thought it was quite a low line. So it was worth a punt, and I didn't really like much else. I personally can't do over the yards that you've done. I think it'll win, but it's not one that I will go for. But yeah, the Dolphins are playing a poor team, so they're going to win by 14 plus. And I wanted to take the Packers -6.5, but the Giants off a bye week. Um, their defense hasn't been terrible, and they seem to be playing hard still. So I just couldn't do it. So Yeah, I went for.
Yeah, no, I'd be quite happy to take the Packers on there. But just on your Danny DeVito, there might be a bit of wind in the Giants game. There seems to be obviously a theme this weekend. There's going to be some wind in the northeastern corner of the United States, and we'll get to that shortly when we come to the Sunday games. But yeah, my Liam's bet for he's actually doubled, or he's teased both games. So Dolphins -4.5 and Packers -4 even. So if you want to tease it down, you just want a bit of an interest. Obviously, they're playing at the same time. Watch both games and then watch that coming.
Tease at all.
Okay.
That's an alt spread. That's not a tease at all. He's teased it.
Maybe he's just teasing. He's teasing me by saying it's a teaser. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's knocked off 9 from the Dolphins, isn't he? And 2 from. Yeah. He's just teased me there. Never mind. We'll move on. I've gone for Tyreek Hill over 104 yards. I think with the record in sight and is where it is against a Tennessee pass defense that's not great, and you can just throw on them. I think they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. So I don't care if it's 3 figures that Tyreek Hill's got quoted for him, 104. I think they're just going to help. I think they're just going to help him get the record and potentially get the obviously the offensive player of the year or whatnot. I just feel like in that organization, I haven't watched Hard Knocks, but it just feels like something that they'd focus on and want to get for Tyreek Hill. So I don't care what the line is, just give me the over. They'll give him the opportunity to do it. And it's kind of like McVay with Kyron Williams joking last week that he only gave him the touchdown because he was in his fantasy team. Or like, when they gave Christian McCaffrey, how many runs at the goal line to extend that streak. It's exactly in that bucket. So just give me the overs and be done with it. So,
and Jeffrey Sims is out for the Titans as well, so there's no pass rush now either.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say that he can do it on 1 catch, but he'd obviously need 2 catches to do it.
It's Tyreek. I'm sure he'd figure it out. Somehow it'd work for him.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe it'd be.
I agree with you. It's the sensible bet. He'll probably get 170 odd, but I just can't do 3 digits. It just feels wrong.
He does. It seems a bit counterintuitive, but there we go. There we go. That is all the primetime games. Let's, if you're watching on the YouTube, the handicaps just about scroll under the screen there. What are your fancies? There's few weird lines, both totals and handicaps this week, and obviously we've got wind to take account for as well. Because I was looking at the Baltimore Rams line of 7.5 and thinking that seemed a bit high, but then when obviously it's when you've got wind there as well, and we'll go through some of the games. Obviously got wind, but your favourite handicap of week 14.
I've gone with the Bucks against the Falcons. It's no wind there. It's inside in Atlanta, I believe, or is it? Yeah, I think it's Atlanta, isn't it? No wind there. That's going to be fine. Obviously, the Falcons are the least trustworthy team in the league. All the games are close, and I think I had the Bucks versus Falcons in Tampa as one of my bets on the pod last time. And that one lost. So it's a revenge spot for me and for the Buccaneers. But yeah, Buccaneers plus 1.5 against a Falcons team that just can't get out of their own way. They're challenging. Both of them are challenging for the NFC South, which is probably going to finish won by a team with a losing record, which is absurd. But I trust more in Baker Mayfield, which is horrible to say, than I do the Falcons offense and then the Falcons play calling. Rashad White's been getting a load of dump offs recently, and Mike Evans has just been incredible. Frankly, he blows up every week. He was one of the players that helped me win a little bit more money last week. Him and Kyron Williams in that late game, obviously, as you say, McVay having him in his fantasy team really helped me as well. So, I just don't trust the Falcons to score enough points. I do trust Jesse Bates on their defense, and that's a bit of a worry for me. He's been incredible recently, but I just think the Bucks getting points, it was too good for me to turn down.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Like I say, there are a few that don't seem quite right for me. Chicago, let's have a quick look at the weather there. Chicago plus 3.5, I thought was a bit dodgy. I thought that was a bit low. No, that should be okay. 14 mile per hour winds. And then also, I'm not sure why Denver aren't favourites against the Chargers, considering how hapless the Chargers are. That doesn't seem right to me. So if you could juice up and get +3 for Denver, like just at 4 or 5 or 8 to 11, maybe.
2.5.
Yeah, I'd take that. I think maybe the Cincinnati Lions fine. With if you trust Jake Browning's performance on Monday Night Football, obviously a bit of a shorter week this week, but yeah, and obviously Cleveland's a weather game. You've got apparently the Jets and Houston don't have a handicap. I've not put it on. I've not put it on there.
I was looking at that.
Yeah,
6.5, I think it was
6.5. I'll just quickly adjust that.
Sorry, 3.5. Sorry, Texans minus 3.5.
Yeah, and then I thought it was quite interesting with. There you go, fix it. The Kansas City only 1.5 point favourites against Buffalo. That's a bit of a weird. I'm not quite sure the bookies don't quite know what to do with that because Kansas City are not in great form, and in Buffalo are in danger of missing the playoffs. So it's kind of a volatile, two volatile games or two volatile teams to try and get a kind of your head round. But the one I've gone for is the long way of saying the one I've gone for is Minnesota minus 2.5 at Las Vegas. I just wanted to quickly bring the standings up for the NFC North because the Minnesota Vikings are still in the I think they're still in the 6th or 7th seed race, aren't they? So they've still obviously stuff to play for. Josh Dobbs obviously had a bit of a mare against Chicago last time out. He's obviously getting the start again, but I think they're on the bye last week. Justin Jefferson should be back in the fold. I think they'll have way too much for a Vegas Raiders team who I'm really hoping for all my bets finish 4th in the division. They currently are at the moment. So I could really do with the Raiders losing this game. I just think Minnesota Vikings have the better players, not better coaching as well. I know the Raiders have improved under Pierce, but that's just a band-aid type of situation, and the that will flip on his head at some point. But I thought the Vikings should be at least a field goal favourite in this one. So if you're going to give me minus 2.5, I'll take minus 2.5.
Yeah, definitely can't argue with them doing the business. I do think that they're the side I would definitely go on that one. It just put me off because it seemed the line seems wrong. Frankly, it just worried me. Obviously, like with Justin Jefferson coming back, it seems like they should be more than 2.5 point favourites against.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with it being 2.5, there is. I think the book is essentially saying this is a fairly even team. There's only 3 points now for home field, isn't it? So, I can't have that they're a fairly even team. I know the record suggests that they're a fairly even team. What Vikings are 6-6 and the Raiders are 5-7, but I think there's just a bit more golfing class there. So, it does look wrong, but give me the minus 2.5.
Yeah, one of the few games we didn't mention was 49ers. I think they probably will cover 11 points in Seattle, but obviously it's quite a lot on the road. And I would lean to Buffalo, frankly, against the Chiefs. Obviously, again, coming off the bye week, and they need the game a lot more than the Chiefs do.
Yeah, but Chiefs, look, 4 losses this season. It's obviously 4 losses. You might have expected at the start of the season, but after 12 games to have 4 losses seems a bit of a mini crisis there. But we shall see. It should be a good game anyway on the box. That's probably
Liam.
Liam's gone for Lions minus 3.5,
which we did mention.
Yeah, we did mention, but that's fine. Yeah, he's got Lions at minus 2.5. Okay, then let's take a look at some totals again. Yeah, some games here. So I'll just quickly run for NFLweather.com. A couple that have been stand out from a weather perspective. You've got Indy versus Cincy, 50-mile-per-hour winds, slight chance of rain showers. Jacksonville, Cleveland, 17 miles per hour. You've got the New York Jets, Houston, definite rain showers, 19 miles per hour, and Baltimore, the Rams, 20 miles an hour as well. So you'll probably see as they flick along there, Baltimore and the Rams is 40.5. Which absolutely stood out to me, which is why I then went and checked NFL weather, because I would be happy to take the overs on that. But if it's going to be crappy weather, like Baltimore can be in December, I'll probably pivot away from that. So what did I end up going? I've gone over in Cincinnati and Indianapolis as well. So I'm not really doing myself any favors. I'm asking for a loss. But do you want to give a short under over, and I might pivot to another one?
Liam's gone the same as you, so you don't want to be on board with Liam for every bet you make this week. It just seems like a bad idea. I've gone with Chargers and Broncos under 44. Scoring's down this year in general. Broncos defense has been playing a lot better recently. Chargers can't get out of their own way, and I thought Joshua Palmer came back a few weeks ago. Apparently not. Apparently,
No.
he's only just getting activated at the moment, so they're still down to no pass catchers. They've been saying today that they may give various people the ball in the backfield, which makes sense because Austin Eckler hasn't been able to do it this year. But I just think these two teams know each other well, and I thought it was a relatively low line, frankly. I'll admit I've not checked the weather in. Oh, it's in LA, so it's inside anyway, so it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
thought it was in Denver. But yeah, under 44 in that one. I've been not very good on my totals this year, frankly, so I'll give that one a go and see how it goes.
No, it's not sexy going unders because I look at them all and think, oh yeah, probably under, because there's so many
Mm,
bad QBs or so many QB injuries or so many injuries to teams and teams not playing well and all the rest of it. Because even like the Kansas City Buffalo line of 48.5, like you would expect it to start with a 5.
yeah.
I think probably the Vegas Raiders and Minnesota probably be over. Obviously that's indoors as well. But I'm going to pivot to Chicago and Detroit over. I think with New Orleans scoring as many as they did quite comfortably against Detroit, I don't think that defense is as stout as it was earlier in the season. So I think Chicago with it's not really a weather game there. Justin Fields on the ground. Obviously had a bye week last week. I think they'll put up some. It'd be a game where they've both got 21 points plus. So I'll probably take the overs on that. I'd quite, after getting it miraculously wrong last week, going unders in Detroit, New Orleans. I'll go over this week and get that wrong as well. But yeah, let's see what Adam has gone for. Like I say, he mentioned overs in the Baltimore Rams game, but obviously just beware on the weather there. Might turn out that it's actually fine because they tend to. I don't know. Just if you're going to put overs on these, make sure you check the weather. Give you obviously your best chance of winning, unless you're going under, of course, and you want the weather. But yeah, but it's hard enough to come by points in most games this year. And like I say, it's considering we've actually got a 29.5 tonight. There's how many I've lost count of the amount of 30 odd point over unders there've been this year. It's not. I'd say it's not been the greatest of products, but yeah, I don't think there's been that many exciting games compared to yesteryears. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is.
No, Steve Fezzik on the Ross Tucker podcast, he was suggesting that it may mean that holds and PIs are adjusted by the referees to try and increase the product. Let's say so. Offensive holding might not get called as much as it used to. PIs might happen more to try and just get teams moving up and down the field a little bit more.
There
Obviously,
were
after the
loads of
Chiefs
games
game
last
as
week
well.
where it's just penalty
Mm,
after penalty after penalty after penalty. It's just
yeah. And
flags
it still
everywhere.
didn't help because still hardly any points. But then
Yeah.
the one time there should have been a flag was obviously MVS. But they adjudged that MVS isn't capable of catching a ball, and therefore him having someone draped over him didn't affect the play. So yeah, it was. There could be a little bit of balancing from that, I'd imagine, maybe in the favour of the Chiefs because the Chiefs have to be the one seeds. But Patrick Mahomes is not allowed to play on the road in this postseason, so they'll figure some way of making it happen.
Indeed. Right, we'll round off then as just a little bit of a glance at touchdown scorers. I've gone for Lamar Jackson 6-4. Again, if it's going to be a bit of a rainy game, just give me a quarterback that runs like Lamar Jackson does at odds against. It's just quite simple. There's no, Gus Edwards might get one, Justice Hill might get one, Keaton Mitchell might get one. I think it'd be quite a fun game. Could be even if it does go to the ground with Kyron Williams and on the Ram side as well. I think it still could be quite a decent fun game. I know the Baltimore defense is pretty stout, and obviously on the Rams you've got Aaron Donald and all the rest of it. On the Rams defense has probably been better than advertised than we thought going into the season. But yeah, give me Lamar Jackson 6-4, nice and simple. I'm not going to try and be cute or anything like that because I've not been great with touchdown scorers this year, so just pluck one out.
Yeah, can't argue with the run game with the run game there. I don't know how many he scored this year. It feels like he's not scored many, which is
I will
obviously
find
Gus
out
has
for
been
you.
getting the goal lines. Yeah, Gus has
Yeah,
been getting the goal
don't the
line stuff.
amount of times I think Gus Bus has got double-digit touchdowns, hasn't he? So
Yeah, it's
that
brilliant,
says all
isn't
you
it?
need
Yeah,
to know.
it's
He
great.
has
Um,
rushing five rushing touchdowns. Gus Edwards has 10.
oh wow, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of it seems to be where they've mixed it up. But as you say, there could be very run heavy this week with the potential weather and what have you. So I definitely won't argue with that one. I've gone with Michael Pittman Junior. 13-8 against a very, very bad Bengals defense, who haven't got Cam Taylor-Britt. He's on IR at the moment, so I doubt he's going to return this year, and he's been their best corner for the season so far. Obviously, the Bengals won on Monday, but they still allowed 30 points. So I think the Colts will be able to put up points. Minshew's a decent backup. He has obviously played a lot of the season, and he's set in well. Pittman doesn't score that much, but he had over 100 yards the last 2 weeks, and he did score last weekend. So I'm taking him to find the end zone. Weirdly, they don't seem to use their tight ends, and with Jonathan Taylor still missing, the run game isn't as powerful as it usually is. So yeah, give me a Michael Pittman 13-8 on Sky Bet. There might be better for him, but again, as we say every week, finding prices this early is difficult.
Yeah, it is. I was just having a look at a few of the run. I was mentioning about the run game. Do you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is a Patrick Ricard touchdown game.
For nice.
18-1. I was just looking. Even
I can't argue that price.
15-2 for Justice Hill isn't that bad either. And then Devin Duvernay 16s. I think there's going to be a biggie. There's going to be a biggie in that game. Got feels. No surprise.
Michael Pruitt type prices.
Yeah. I mean, well, Charlie Kohler is 16s if you want to get involved with that. No surprises that Liam has gone for a Kansas City Chief to score a touchdown, but it is surprising that he's not gone for a wide receiver who's not going to catch a touchdown. He's gone for Travis Kelce.
Not Kadarius Toney.
He's not gone Tony. He's not gone anyone. He's not gone Rashee Rice. He's not gone whoever McCall fucking Hardman. For fuck's sake. Yeah, he has gone Travis Kelce, so there we go. That pretty much
imagine is around evens. He's not available on Lemon odds checker, of course he isn't. I'd imagine he's 5-6, 20-21, something like that.
I'm quite surprised that game's not been flexed really, or wasn't in a prime time slot.
5-6 on Bet365.
I was just quickly going to look on what's it called? It's not on Sky Bet yet. So fabulous stuff. Thanks, Sky Bet, for that. So yeah, there we go. That's all of the bets. Let's have a quick recap. Thursday Night Football over 29.5 for me and Liam. Adam's gone for Pat Freiermuth. Jesus Christ, Pat Freiermuth. It's over 27.5 receiving yards. Sunday Night Football, I've gone Philadelphia plus 3.5. Liam's gone Eagles money line 6-4, and Jalen Hurts for Adam anytime touchdown score at 5-6. And then in the doubleheader Monday Night Football, I've gone for Tyreek Hill over 104.5 receiving yards. Adam's gone for DeVito over 173.5 passing yards, and Liam's gone for an alternative and handicap line of Dolphins -5 and Packers -4, and that is evens. Best week spreads: Minnesota -2.5 for me, Bucks +1.5 for Adam, Lions -3.5 for Liam, and then finally totals over 42.5 Detroit, Chicago for myself, under 44 Chargers, Broncos for Adam, over 40.5 Baltimore and the Rams for Liam. That gonna wrap us up for week 14. I didn't mention last week, but I only got 2 out of 6. Adam and Liam both with 4 out of 6 as well. So last couple of weeks we've actually done pretty well. So yeah, a little tiny bit of form. So may that continue into week 14.
And if you do happen to follow me on Twitter, or you do now, maybe, obviously I had a gigantic week last week. I did post up a massive winning bet. Those things don't happen all the time. They do not happen very, very frequently at all. I have a both players to score Trixie on most weeks of the season. That's the first one that's won all 3 of them. Admittedly, it was 1,500 quid from a tenner, which is nice. And I got 2 out of 3 the other week. 2 out of 3 returned about 140. I do feel like I'm kind of obliged to put one up this week, so I will put one up on Twitter. But do not expect it to win, please. Do not put your Christmas money on it. Because it's very unlikely.
Yeah, no, I dabbled. Yeah, I've not had a bet for a couple of weeks, really, like massively. But I used to dabble in anytime touchdown scorers when I fancied someone quite decent price to. Because just greed, isn't it? Greed. But there we go. Anyway, all the best of luck for you, Adam. Obviously, all the best to people out there that are gambling. Please gamble responsibly, and we will see you all next week if I can find the outro. There it is. Bye.